Highs and lows was the theme of the 250cc class in San Diego over this past weekend, with Julien Beaumer snatching his first win in the 250SX class, the current points leader heading into San Diego, Yoshimoto, breaking two fingers, and rookie sensation Cole Davies showing up and showing out at round 2 of the Monster Energy AMA Supercross season. Welcome back to the Ride JBI YouTube channel. I am Anthony. This, of course, is JB, and we're going to be talking about round 2 of the Monster Energy AMA Supercross season for the 250 class. Let's start with the winner, who I think is much deserving to be talked about first. Julien Beaumer snagged his first win of not only the season, but his career as well. And we were talking about in our preview shows and even our JBI race recap for Anaheim that Julien took a huge step up from his rookie year to his sophomore year. And if he can keep the ball rolling, we could have a guy who can fight for race wins and even the title. And I think we got just that. For Julien to go second at the opener and then back it up with his first win just 1 week's time later, I think he is rolling into Anaheim who rocking the red plate. So I think he has a boatload of confidence heading into round 3.
Yeah, man. We've seen him lead races before last year, and now we've seen him lead races and actually close it out. And we've touched on this before in our broadcast about somebody that shows a lot of potential to continue getting better. And man, he just looking at him, he seems to be very, very confident just in his eyes, how he's talking to people. I mean, just what a year does to an individual at that age, just growing up physique-wise and mentally.
I love the strategy early on. He was just following Cole Davies, knew it was a long 15 minutes plus one, and kind of just waited Cole Davies out. For Julien, I think he could definitely back this up just from the riding that we saw at Anaheim, riding that we saw in San Diego, and even some of the riding that we've seen him do just up the street here at the KTM test track. He's been absolutely ripping.
Really good point on him giving Cole Davies time and not forcing the issue right away. I can't imagine being in second place like he was. Having experience of leading before and thinking, man, I could win this race, and not pushing the issue, especially at that time, getting some heat from Jordan Smith right behind him on the Triumph. So really good racecraft on Julien's part of not pushing it early on. As Ricky would say, let the race come to him.
The veteran of this class, Jordan Smith, has put in some quite impressive rides. Third at the opener, then he backs up with a second place finish, and we're following the trend that he is going in. Third, second. Does he get up on the tops of the podium this week at Anaheim? He has a very good shot at doing so.
How good for Triumph. Their second year doing Supercross. Another podium for him early on in the season this time, and a very legit podium finish for him. You know, so it's Jordan, good for you. I'm glad to see you on another high caliber team, getting some good equipment. And I think he's going to be one of those guys that I'm going to say underestimate, but we underestimate just how good he is. Meaning you see him in the top 5 and you think, all right, but he can definitely be a race winner as well. He just maybe needs a few more things to go his way. Maybe a little bit better of a start. It would have been interesting to see had he started off the main with the lead and maybe have Cole Davies and Julien behind him and see how that would kind of shake out. Because as we all know, you might be faster than somebody, but it's really hard to make up a lot of extra time and then get around that individual. And sometimes they can be slowing down your pace as well because you're taking your lines. So hats off to Triumph. Great job to the team. Great job to Jordan. And again, A2 is just going to be another great race for everybody involved and for us, the fans.
Another guy who was visually upset on the podium was Hayden Danger Boy Deegan. I think we all expected him to win a round. If you were to ask me before the season, I would have thought he would have won the opener, maybe even the second round as well. But he hasn't won a round yet. Granted, it's only been 2 races, and a simple tip over, even a bad start, can really cost you a good shot at the win. And for Hayden Deegan, I think that's the Achilles heel as of right now. Get this kid out front, and he will absolutely win. And I think he is probably still the fastest in the class as of right now. But it seems like that one big missing piece of the puzzle has yet to be placed. Maybe another few more rounds. He's got to get this figured out because, yes, he's still close in the points chase, but if he keeps allowing these things to happen, he can easily find himself out of the title hunt very quickly.
Yeah, you're right, man. I mean, watching Hayden come through the pack, it's still very obvious he has the most raw speed at anybody out there, just based on his riding technique, the style he puts on it, the lines that he takes, the level of, I don't know if aggression is the right word, but assertiveness that he rides with, of just going forward with the bike. It's obvious he is still the fan favorite and race favorite to win. But with the limited round series that 250s have, you're right, man. for how well his competitors are racing, it doesn't give him much wiggle room to have any bad races. By that, I mean finish out of the top 5, even the top 10, and lose many points. He's doing a great job making up for some of these mishaps. But as you know, I think we all expect to see him on the podium soon. Sorry, the top spot and win soon. With the new Supercross betting they have, he's had to have been upset a few of those bets. Because if I was betting, I would throw money down on him almost every weekend. And I'm sure Julian made people a couple bucks if you are betting. I don't bet personally. I grew up in Reno, so I see a lot of people gamble. Not really my thing. Cole Davies getting fourth, man. I mistaked I mistaken him for Hayden a few times, and I mean that in the best compliment. Meaning Davies out front, and I automatically thought, oh, blue bike, green leader lights, probably Hayden Deegan. And then nope, that is Cole Davies. So, dude, great job for your second race in a professional season ever. And watching Eli Tomac on Gypsy Tales, he spoke very highly of the 250 class and said, "You're one of the guys to watch." He said, "If you race like you practice, you'll do well." And I think you did a great demonstration last weekend of racing how you practice. And if you got even more than that, then man, you got a bright future ahead of you as well, man. And I guess next up on the list is Ryder D. Good to see that name pop up. It seems like that's a guy we as in the industry expected to be on the top spot a lot earlier in his pro career. But again, turning pro seems tough, and those injuries can really hinder your development as a pro rider.
Mhm.
So,
Go ahead.
no kidding. Sorry.
Ryder D is another rider who maybe got thrown a bit of a curveball when moving up to the pro ranks. Another highly touted amateur on the Team Green program, rode for Monster Energy Pro Kawasaki for a little bit, has now switched over to the Rockstar Energy Gas team. I almost caught myself inside Red Bull Truly Designs team. That is no longer. Anyways, for Ryder D, I think the results that he's getting now is kind of the results that I expected last year, or maybe even the year before. And I think maybe it's taken him just a little bit longer to find his footing in the pro ranks. If he can continue to keep putting himself in good positions off the start, maybe even snag a podium or another fourth or fifth here, maybe even lead some laps with a good start, I think that's a good step in the right direction for Ryder D.
Unshocking is Cody Schock getting another almost top 5 finish, man. I think it was that funny, but I'm glad you enjoyed it. Because he had, I think, a 5th place finish last weekend at A1 and a 6th place finish at San Diego last weekend. And I'm sure as a rider, he wants more. But, dude, consistent start to the season. And I was really bummed last year to see you doing well, then have that collarbone injury, and then see you tough it out with just true grit on your end, man. So glad to see you back on the bike, fighting for those top 5 finishes. And dude, I hope to see you on the podium sometime this year because you've got the fight inside of you. And man, watching you and Deegan go at it at A1 that was a lot of fun towards the end of the race. And yeah, man.
Yeah, what a great dude on and off the track. Another guy who's kind of been bitten by the injury bug, had to switch teams there for a little bit, but has finally found a home, a long-term home with Muck-Off FXR Club MX Yamaha team. So I'm stoked to see Cody just year 2 on the bike, getting past those injuries and just putting some solid performances in. Now, we all know that he is capable of, and I think he's capable of a lot more. He's a guy who I think a podium is on the table for the 2025 season, in my opinion. He's a guy who has shown great speed in the outdoor season back in 2021. I think he was finishing like 5th, maybe even 4th at times to the likes of, I mean, you name it in the 450 class. So I think for Cody, please stay healthy, man. I love seeing that guy out on track. He's a great dude on and off the track. Joe Shimoda just getting whacked by a pit board, which was pretty much unheard of. But when it happened, I kind of thought to myself, I'm surprised this doesn't happen more often, or even riders brushing up against the pit board with their shoulder, or even their helmet, handlebars, or anything like that, because I've seen the mechanics lean quite far over like the banners that they do to separate the racetrack from the mechanics area. I want to say I was surprised when it happened, but then when I really thought about it, I was like, wow, this doesn't happen as often, which I'm happy about, but there's got to be a way to some sort of justification for Joe Shimoda because I didn't really feel like he did anything wrong.
No, not at all. He was on the racetrack. If he had ventured off the track, then you know what? Fine. We can maybe frame it a little differently. But he was well within the bounds of the racetrack. And you did right. I can understand the mechanic side of it, of being a mechanic as well, and also being caught up in the heat of the moment, watching your rider and just being zoned in. So what a bummer to see. You are a tough son of a bitch, Joe.
Yeah, if anyone was questioning the strength the durability or even just the grit of Yoshimoto. I think he proved all the doubters wrong and then some. I was kind of waiting for him to kind of pull off the track or kind of shake off his hand and take a breather, but no, he just kept charging. And especially during the whoop section, I was just waiting for, I hate to say it, but a hand to blow off. But what a tough son of a bitch to just finish a 15+1 or even ride just alone with broken fingers around a supercross track. I mean, that's just absolutely insane. Well, that's going to wrap it up. Let us know if we missed anything in this JBI race recap for San Diego for the 250 class. We covered pretty much everything and anything from the injuries to Julian Romero's first win, the rookie Cole Davies, Hayden Deegan, Cody Shocked, if you weren't shocked by that. And we're really looking forward to Anaheim 2, round 3 of the Monster Energy AMA Supercross season, and to see how all of these riders do when they line up on the gate. If you aren't already, please subscribe to the Ride JBI YouTube channel. These are also available on the Ride JBI Spotify channel as well. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you guys in the next episode.